You little rat. How dare you touch my coffee? The crystal mug shattered against the marble floor. Hot liquid splashed across Emma's worn sneakers. She didn't flinch. Marcus Wellington III stood over her, his designer suit pristine, his face twisted with rage. Around the executive boardroom, 12 other billionaires watched in silence. Sir, I was just... Don't you dare speak to me. Stick till the end. At 80%, there's a reveal you won't see coming. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories like this. Emma Chen was 19, small, quiet, the daughter of Maria Chen, who had cleaned Wellington Industries for 15 years. 3 months ago, Emma started working part-time in the building. Janitor duties, night shift mostly. But today was different. Today she was covering the morning executive meeting. Her mother was sick, fever, cough. Someone had to fill in. Emma bent down to collect the broken glass. Her hands moved carefully, practiced. She had cleaned up messes before. Look at this, Marcus sneered to his guests. This is what happens when we hire charity cases. The other executives chuckled. Nervous sounds. Emma kept her eyes down. She noticed things others missed. Always had, like how Marcus's left hand shook when he picked up documents. How his pupils were too small for the bright conference room. How he kept touching his chest just above his heart. Small things. Quiet things. My apologies, Mr. Wellington, Emma whispered. I'll have maintenance clean this properly. You'll have nothing. Marcus slammed his palm on the mahogany table. You're fired. Both you and that worthless mother of yours. The room went dead quiet. Emma's throat tightened. Her mother needed this job. The insurance, the steady pay. Without it, they'd lose their tiny apartment. But something else caught her attention. Marcus was sweating. In a climate-controlled room, his skin looked gray under the fluorescent lights. Sir, Emma said softly. Are you feeling... Get out. She backed toward the door, still holding pieces of broken crystal. Her mind raced. Her mother always said, watch, listen. The body tells stories the mouth won't. Maria Chen had worked in hospitals before coming to America. Before learning English. Before cleaning office buildings to survive. She taught Emma to see. The elevator doors closed behind Emma. She pressed the button for the basement. Her heart pounded. Marcus Wellington controlled half the tech companies in Silicon Valley. Worth $8 billion. He owned this 40-story tower. He owned the city block around it. He could destroy her family with a phone call. But something was wrong with him. Emma reached the janitor's closet. Her hands trembled as she pulled out her phone. She scrolled through her contacts. Dr. Rodriguez, the emergency room doctor who sometimes hired her mother for weekend cleaning at the hospital. The phone rang twice. Hello? Dr. Rodriguez? This is Emma Chen, Maria's daughter. Emma! How's your mother feeling? Better, thank you. But I need to ask you something. If someone has small pupils, gray skin, and keeps touching their chest... A pause. Emma, where are you? What's happening? She explained quickly. The meeting, Marcus's appearance, his behavior. Listen to me carefully, Dr. Rodriguez said. Those could be signs of a heart attack. A serious one. He needs help now. Emma's blood went cold, but he fired me. He hates me. He'll never listen. Then you need to find another way. The line went dead. Emma stared at her phone. Through the basement ceiling, she could hear the building humming. Hundreds of people working, living their lives, not knowing their CEO might be dying. She thought about her mother. 15 years of mopping floors, emptying trash cans, being invisible. Rich people don't see us, Maria always said, but we see everything. Emma took a deep breath. She had two choices. Walk away. Let Marcus Wellington face whatever was coming alone. After what he did, no one would blame her or go back up. The elevator button glowed under her finger, 40th floor, back to the man who just destroyed her life. But first, she needed to make a call. Emma dialed 911. What's your emergency? I think someone's having a heart attack. Wellington Industries. 40th floor. Executive boardroom. What's your name, ma'am? Emma Chen. I work here. Are you with the patient now? No, he's in a meeting. But I think he's in danger. We're sending paramedics. Can you stay on the line? Emma pressed the elevator button. I'll try. The elevator climbed. Each floor felt like an hour. 35, 36. Her mother's voice echoed in her head. Emma, we are small, but small people can do big things. When the time comes, you'll know. Was this the time? 38, 39. The elevator dinged, 40th floor. The boardroom doors were still closed. Through the frosted glass, she could see shadows. The meeting was still going. Emma pressed her ear to the door. Voices, muffled. But something was different. Someone was shouting. Not Marcus, someone else. Call 911. Something's wrong with Marcus. Emma's pulse spiked. She pushed through the doors. Chaos. Marcus Wellington lay on the carpet. His face was blue. His body convulsed. 12 billionaires stood around him like confused children. What do we do? Is he breathing? Someone call his doctor. Nobody moved. Emma dropped to her knees beside Marcus. His eyes rolled back. Foam gathered at the corners of his mouth. He's having a heart attack, she said clearly. One of the executives, a woman with silver hair, stared at her. You're the girl he just fired. Yes, ma'am. Then why are you here? Emma placed her fingers against Marcus's neck. His pulse was irregular, weak. Because he's dying. The room went silent except for Marcus's labored breathing. I called 911, Emma continued. Paramedics are coming. But we need to help him now. She tilted his head back, cleared his airway. How do you know what to do? The silver-haired woman asked. My mother taught me. Emma began chest compressions, hard and fast, just like Dr. Rodriguez had shown her when she volunteered at the hospital. 1, 2, 3, 4. Marcus's body was heavier than she expected, but she kept going. 15, 16, 17. Her arms burned. 28, 29, 30. She gave him rescue breaths, then started again. Why are you helping him? Another executive whispered. He was horrible to you. Emma didn't stop the compressions. Because it's right. Sirens wailed in the distance. Getting closer. Marcus's color began to return. Slightly. The elevator doors opened. Paramedics rushed in with equipment. Step back, please. Emma moved aside. Her shirt was soaked with sweat. The paramedics worked fast. IV, oxygen, heart monitor. What happened here? The lead paramedic asked. The executives looked at each other. The silver-haired woman spoke first. This young lady, she saved his life. All eyes turned to Emma. She stood quietly by the window. Her hands were steady now, but inside everything shook. We need to transport him now, the paramedic said. Who's his next of kin? His son, someone answered. Marcus Wellington IV. Anyone coming with us? Silence. Emma stepped forward. I will. The paramedic looked confused. Are you family? No, but I was here when it happened. Emma, the silver-haired woman said softly. What's your last name? Chen. Ms. Chen. Thank you. The paramedics loaded Marcus onto a stretcher. He was unconscious but breathing. As they wheeled him toward the elevator, his eyes fluttered open. He saw Emma walking beside the stretcher. His lips moved. No sound came out, but Emma read the words. Thank you. The elevator doors closed. In the boardroom, the executives sat in stunned silence. Outside the windows, San Francisco stretched for miles. The city Marcus Wellington owned a piece of, but in that moment it all seemed very small. The silver-haired woman picked up the broken pieces of the crystal mug. What's going to happen now? Someone asked. I don't know, she replied. But I think everything just changed. On the 40th floor, the cleaning cart still sat in the corner. Empty coffee cups. Scattered papers. The remnants of a meeting that started with cruelty and ended with grace. Emma's phone buzzed. A text from her mother. How was work today, mija? Emma stared at the message. How could she explain this? The insult. The firing. The heart attack. The rescue. The way a man who hated her looked into her eyes and whispered thank you. She typed back. Different than usual. Mom, I'll tell you everything when I get home. The hospital waiting room was cold. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Emma sat alone on a plastic chair. She had ridden in the ambulance, answered the doctor's questions, explained what she saw in the boardroom. Now Marcus was in surgery and she was unemployed. Her phone rang. Hello? Ms. Chen? This is Patricia Blackwood. I was in the meeting today. The silver-haired woman. Yes, ma'am. I wanted to talk to you. Are you still at the hospital? Yes. Good. I'm on my way. The line went dead. Emma leaned back in the uncomfortable chair. Through the window, The sun was setting over the city. Tomorrow, she would have to look for a new job. Tomorrow, her mother would have to do the same. But tonight, Marcus Wellington was alive, and sometimes that was enough. But as Emma sat there, she had no idea what was coming next. She had no idea that Marcus Wellington had enemies. Rich enemies. Powerful enemies. People who had been waiting for him to die. And now that he was alive, they would want to know why. They would want to know about the girl who saved him. They would want to know about Emma Chen. The automatic doors slid open. Patricia Blackwood walked in, still wearing her expensive suit from the meeting. She sat down beside Emma. "How is he?" Patricia asked. "Still in surgery?" "You know, in 15 years of board meetings, I've never seen Marcus Wellington speechless." Emma didn't respond. "But today, when he looked at you, he had nothing to say." Patricia studied Emma's face. "Tell me something, Miss Chen. How did you know?" "Know what?" "That he was having a heart attack. Most people wouldn't have recognized the signs." Emma hesitated. "My mother worked in hospitals before we came here. She taught me things." "What kind of things?" "How to see when people are sick. How to help." Patricia nodded slowly. "Marcus will recover. The doctors think he'll make a full recovery." Emma felt relief wash over her. "But there's something you need to know," Patricia continued. "Something important." Emma turned to look at her. "Marcus has been getting death threats. For months. The FBI is involved." Emma's blood went cold. "Death threats? Corporate espionage? Hostile takeovers? There are people who want him gone." Patricia leaned closer. "Emma, what if this wasn't a heart attack?" The words hung in the air like poison. "What do you mean? What if someone tried to kill him today?" Emma's mind raced. The coffee. The mug that shattered. Marcus had been fine until he drank from it. "Miss Blackwood," Emma whispered. "I need to tell you something." Emma's hands trembled as she spoke. "The coffee. He was fine until he drank the coffee." Patricia's eyes widened. "You think someone poisoned him?" "I don't know. But something wasn't right." Patricia pulled out her phone. "I'm calling the FBI." "Wait." Emma grabbed her arm. "What if we're wrong? What if it really was just a heart attack? Then we look foolish." "But if we're right," Patricia dialed. "Agent Morrison? It's Patricia Blackwood. We need to talk." 20 minutes later, a tall man in a dark suit walked into the hospital waiting room. Agent Morrison had cold eyes and graying hair. He sat across from Emma and Patricia. "Ms. Chen, tell me exactly what you observed." Emma repeated everything. The shaking hands, the gray skin, the timing with the coffee. "Did anyone else drink from the same pot?" Morrison asked. "No, Marcus had his own mug. Crystal, expensive. He was very particular about it." Morrison wrote notes. "Who served the coffee?" Emma's stomach dropped. "I did." Morrison's pen stopped moving. "You served the coffee to the man you're now accusing of being poisoned." "I didn't accuse anyone of anything. I just said, Ms. Chen, do you understand how this looks?" Patricia leaned forward. "Agent Morrison, this girl saved Marcus's life. Why would she poison him and then save him? Maybe she didn't expect him to collapse so quickly. Maybe she panicked." Emma stood up. "I would never hurt anyone. Sit down, Ms. Chen. It was an order, not a request." Emma sat. "Where did the coffee come from?" Morrison continued. "The executive kitchen. Top floor. Who prepared it?" Emma thought back. "It was already made when I got there. In the pot. Still hot. Who has access to that kitchen?" "Security. Cleaning staff, executives." Morrison closed his notebook. "Ms. Chen, I need you to come with me." "Am I under arrest?" "Not yet." Patricia stood. "I'm coming with her. Ma'am, this is a federal investigation, and I'm a board member of Wellington Industries. If someone tried to kill our CEO, I have a right to know." Morrison hesitated. "Fine. But you both stay quiet unless I ask you to speak." They rode the elevator to the 40th floor in silence. The building was mostly empty now. Night cleaning crews worked quietly in the distance. Emma's mother would be here soon, starting her shift if she still had a job. The executive kitchen was small but modern. Marble counters, high-end appliances. Morrison put on latex gloves. "Show me exactly what you did." Emma walked to the coffee station. The pot was here, already full. I took Marcus's mug from the cabinet. "Which cabinet?" She pointed. "The one marked with his initials." Morrison opened the cabinet. Inside were several crystal mugs, all identical except for the small engravings. M.W. Thur on one, P. Pierce on another, J.R. on a third. Each executive has their own? Morrison asked. Yes, Marcus was very strict about it. Morrison examined Marcus's mug with a magnifying glass. There's residue here. Could be anything. He placed the mug in an evidence bag. We'll test it. What about the coffee pot? Emma showed him. Morrison took samples, sealed them carefully. Ms. Chen, think hard. Did you see anyone else in this kitchen today? Emma closed her eyes, remembered walking in. The lights were on. The coffee was fresh, but something else. There was a spoon, she said suddenly. What? A silver spoon. On the counter. It wasn't there when I left. Morrison looked around. No spoon. Describe it. Small, ornate handle, like it belonged to a tea set. Patricia gasped. I know that spoon. Morrison turned to her. Explain. It belongs to Victoria Ashworth. She collects antique silver. Who is Victoria Ashworth? Board member. She wanted Marcus's position as CEO. Emma's pulse quickened. She was in the meeting today? Patricia nodded. Sitting right next to Marcus, Morrison made a note. Where is Ms. Ashworth now? I don't know. She left right after the ambulance. Before or after Ms. Chen arrived to help? Patricia thought back. Before. She was one of the first to leave. Morrison's phone buzzed. He answered quickly. Morrison. What? Are you sure? I'll be right there. He hung up. The hospital. Marcus is awake. He's asking for you, Miss Chen. Emma's heart pounded. Me? Why? That's what we're going to find out. The ride to the hospital felt endless. Emma sat in the back of Morrison's unmarked car. Patricia rode shotgun. No one spoke. Emma's mind raced. Why would Marcus want to see her? To thank her? To accuse her? Or to tell her something important? The ICU was quiet. Machines beeped softly. Marcus looked pale but alert. Tubes ran from his arms. Wires connected to his chest, but his eyes were sharp. Emma, he said weakly. She approached the bed slowly. Mr. Wellington, how are you feeling? Like someone tried to kill me. Morrison stepped forward. Sir, we're investigating that possibility. Marcus looked at the FBI agent. Who are you? Agent Morrison, FBI. Good. Emma, I need to tell you something. He tried to sit up, winced. The coffee tasted wrong. Emma's breath caught. Wrong how? Bitter, more than usual. I almost didn't drink it. Morrison pulled out his recorder. Mr. Wellington, do you consent to being recorded? Yes. Tell us everything you remember. Marcus closed his eyes. The meeting started at 10. Emma brought coffee around 10:15. Who was in the room? The usual board members. 12 of them. Any unusual behavior? Marcus paused. Victoria seemed nervous. Patricia and Emma exchanged glances. How so? Morrison asked. She kept checking her phone, looking at the door, like she was waiting for something. What happened after you drank the coffee? I felt fine at first. Then my chest started hurting. My vision got blurry. Marcus looked at Emma. You saved my life. I just did what anyone would do. No, you did what the right person would do. His voice grew stronger. Agent Morrison, I want to press charges. Against whom? Victoria Ashworth. Patricia gasped. Marcus, you can't be sure. I'm sure enough. Morrison made notes. We'll need evidence. The lab results will take time. Then get them faster. Marcus's monitor began beeping rapidly. A nurse rushed in. Everyone out. He needs rest. As they left the room, Marcus called out, Emma. She turned back. Don't trust anyone. Not until this is over. In the hospital corridor, Morrison's phone rang again. Morrison, what do you mean she's gone? When? Damn it, he hung up. Victoria Ashworth. She boarded a private jet 2 hours ago. Where to? Patricia asked. Switzerland. No extradition treaty for this type of case. Emma felt sick. She's going to get away with it. Not if I can help it. Morrison's phone buzzed with a text. He read it quickly. His face went white. What is it? Patricia asked. Morrison showed them the screen. A message from an unknown number. The girl knows too much. Make her disappear or we will. Emma's blood turned to ice. They're threatening me? Ms. Chen, we need to get you somewhere safe. What about my mother? We'll protect her too. Patricia grabbed Emma's arm. There's something else you need to know. What? Victoria wasn't working alone. She couldn't have done this by herself. Morrison nodded. Corporate espionage networks. They're sophisticated, well-funded. Emma's phone rang, her mother's number. She answered quickly. Mom? Emma, where are you? Your supervisor said you didn't finish your shift. Mom, listen carefully. Are you at the building? Yes, just starting cleaning. Get out. Right now. What? Emma, you're scaring me. Please, Mom, trust me. Leave the building and go home. I'll explain everything. A pause. Okay, Mija. I'm leaving. The line went dead. Morrison was already moving. We need to go. Now. They ran toward the parking garage. Morrison's phone rang. Morrison. What? How many? We're on our way. He hung up. There's been an explosion. Emma stopped running. Where? Wellington Industries. Patricia covered her mouth with her hands. Emma's world tilted. My mother. She got out, Morrison said quickly. The explosion was on the 40th floor. Executive level. The boardroom. Gone. Along with any evidence we might have found. They reached Morrison's car. As they drove through the city, Emma saw the orange glow in the distance. Fire trucks. Police cars. News vans. Wellington Industries was burning. They're covering their tracks, Morrison said grimly. What do we do now? Patricia asked. We find another way to prove it. Emma stared out the window. Everything she had worked for was going up in smoke. Her job. Her mother's job. Their future. But she was alive and so was Marcus. That had to count for something. Morrison's radio crackled. Agent Morrison, we have a situation. What now? Victoria Ashworth's plane. It never left U.S. airspace. Morrison grabbed the radio. Explain. Mechanical failure. Emergency landing in Nevada. Emma felt a spark of hope. She's still here? For now. But her lawyers are already working on diplomatic immunity. Morrison pressed harder on the accelerator. Not if we get there. First, they drove in silence for several minutes. Then Patricia spoke. Emma, there's something else. What now? Marcus told me something while you were getting coffee today. What? He said he'd been getting phone calls. Death threats. For weeks. Morrison looked in the rearview mirror. Why didn't he report them? He thought he could handle it himself. Rich people always think that, Morrison muttered. Emma's phone buzzed, a text from her mother. I'm home safe. But Emma, someone was asking about you at the building tonight. Emma showed the message to Morrison. Describe him. He typed back on Emma's phone. The response came quickly. Tall. Expensive suit. Said he was your new supervisor. Morrison cursed. They're still hunting you. Why? I don't know anything. You know enough. Patricia leaned back in her seat. Emma, do you remember anything else from today? Anything at all? Emma closed her eyes. Thought back to the morning, the executive kitchen, the coffee pot, the crystal mugs, the silver spoon. Wait. There was something else. What? A paper. On the counter next to the spoon. It looked like a prescription. Morrison pulled over. Are you sure? Yes, I only saw it for a second, but it had a doctor's name at the top. Do you remember the name? Emma concentrated. Dr. something son. The last name ended in son. Patricia grabbed Emma's hand. Dr. Anderson? Maybe. Why? He's Victoria's personal physician. Morrison was already calling headquarters. I need everything you can find on a Dr. Anderson. Physician. Possibly connected to Victoria Ashworth. Yes, I'll hold. While they waited, Emma stared at the burning building in the distance. Somewhere, in those flames, was the evidence. That could have put Victoria away forever, but maybe there was another way. Agent Morrison, she said quietly. Yes? What if we made Victoria think she won? What do you mean? Emma smiled for the first time all day. I have an idea, but first, she had to make sure her mother was truly safe, and she had to convince Marcus, Wellington, to trust her one more time. The man who had fired her that morning. The man whose life she had saved. The man who might be the only person powerful enough to help her catch a killer. Morrison's phone rang. Morrison, you found what? Are you kidding me? We'll be right there. He hung up with a grin. Dr. Anderson just tried to board a plane to Switzerland. Tried? Patricia asked. TSA flagged him. He's in custody. Emma felt hope rising in her chest, but Morrison's smile faded. There's just one problem. What? He's claiming diplomatic immunity too. How? Turns out Victoria Ashworth has been working with foreign agents. Emma's heart sank. So we still can't touch them? Morrison started the engine. Not legally. He looked at Emma in the rearview mirror. Tell me about this idea of yours. Emma took a deep breath. It was risky. It was probably stupid, but it might be their only chance. We make Victoria think I'm dead. You want to fake your own death? Morrison stared at Emma like she'd lost her mind. It's the only way. Absolutely not. Too dangerous. Patricia leaned forward. What's your plan, Emma? Victoria thinks she's won. Marcus is in the hospital. The evidence is destroyed. I'm the only witness left. Morrison shook his head. Which is exactly why we need to keep you alive. But if she thinks I'm dead, she'll get careless. She'll come back. From Switzerland? She never left. Morrison's radio crackled. Agent Morrison, update on the Nevada situation. Morrison grabbed the radio. Go ahead. Victoria Ashworth's plane. The mechanical failure was fake. What do you mean fake? She never boarded. It was a decoy. Emma felt her pulse quicken. She's still in San Francisco. Morrison cursed. All units, Victoria Ashworth is still in the area. Consider her armed and dangerous. He turned to Emma. Your plan just got a lot more interesting. 2 hours later, Emma lay on a hospital gurney. Fake blood, pale makeup, bandages covering fake wounds. The hardest part was staying still. Marcus sat in a wheelchair beside her. He looked terrible but insisted on helping. This is insane, he whispered. It's going to work, Emma replied without moving her lips. Dr. Rodriguez, the emergency room doctor who knew Emma's family, walked over. The news crews are here. You ready? Emma closed her eyes. Outside, reporters gathered around the hospital entrance. Morrison stood at the microphone. At approximately 11:30 p.m. tonight, Emma Chen, the young woman who saved CEO Marcus Wellington's life, was attacked in her home. Camera flashes exploded. Ms. Chen is currently in critical condition. The attack appears to be connected to the Wellington Industries investigation. Patricia stepped forward. She had tears in her eyes, real ones. Emma Chen is a hero. She saved a man's life today, and now someone tried to take hers. The crowd of reporters shouted questions. Morrison held up his hand. We have no further comment at this time. In the hospital room, Emma watched the news coverage on TV. Her own face stared back at her from the screen. The reporter's voice was somber. Emma Chen, the maid's daughter who became an unlikely hero, fights for her life tonight. Emma's phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Good. The girl got what she deserved. Emma showed the message to Morrison. It's working? Morrison traced the number. Burner phone, but it pinged a cell tower downtown. She's close. Marcus reached for Emma's hand. Thank you, he said quietly. For what? For risking everything. Again. Emma squeezed his fingers. My mother always said small people can do big things. Your mother was right. Dr. Rodriguez entered the room. We have movement. Black SUV outside the hospital. Tinted windows. Morrison stood up. She's coming to confirm the kill. Emma's heart pounded. This was the moment. Morrison spoke into his radio. All units, stand by. Do not move until my signal. Through the hospital window, Emma could see the SUV parked across the street waiting, watching. 10 minutes passed. 20. Then, the SUV door opened. A woman in a dark coat stepped out. Victoria Ashworth. She walked toward the hospital. Entrance confident, calm, like someone who had just won a war. Morrison whispered into his radio. Target is moving. Repeat, target is moving. Victoria disappeared into the building. Emma closed her eyes, controlled her breathing, played dead. Footsteps in the corridor. Getting closer. The door opened slowly. Victoria Ashworth stepped into the room. She looked exactly like Emma remembered from the boardroom. Silver hair, expensive suit, cold eyes, but now there was something else. Satisfaction. Victoria walked to Emma's bedside, stared down at the motionless figure. Stupid girl, she whispered. You should have minded your own business. Emma fought every instinct to open her eyes. Victoria reached into her purse, pulled out a small vial, clear liquid. Just to be sure, Victoria murmured. She moved toward Emma's IV line. Emma's blood went cold. Victoria was going to poison her for real. Morrison's voice came through the hidden speaker. Now. Emma's eyes snapped open. Victoria jumped back. You're alive. Surprise. FBI agents burst through the door. Victoria spun toward the exit. Morrison blocked her path. Victoria Ashworth, you're under arrest. For what? Morrison held up the vial. Attempted murder again. Victoria's composure cracked. You can't prove anything. We can prove everything, Patricia stepped into the room, including the fact that you've been embezzling from Wellington Industries for 3 years. Victoria's face went white. That's impossible. Marcus rolled his wheelchair forward. Actually, it's not. He held up a tablet. While you were busy trying to kill me and Emma, my forensic accountants were busy tracing your offshore accounts. Victoria's hands shook. Marcus, you don't understand. There are people involved. Dangerous people. You mean Dr. Anderson? Victoria's eyes widened. We arrested him an hour ago, Morrison said. He's already talking. And your Swiss connections? Patricia added. They abandoned you the moment the FBI contacted Interpol. Victoria looked around the room. Trapped. I want a lawyer. You'll get one, Morrison said, snapping handcuffs on her wrists. In federal prison. As they led Victoria away, she turned back to Emma. This isn't over. Emma sat up on the gurney, looked Victoria straight in the eye. Yes, it is. The door closed. Emma wiped off the fake blood. Marcus smiled. How does it feel to catch a killer? Scary, exciting, weird. Patricia laughed. I imagine so. Dr. Rodriguez checked Marcus's vitals. You should be resting, not playing FBI agent. I'll rest when this is finished. Morrison re-entered the room. It's finished? Dr. Anderson confessed to everything. The poison in the coffee, the planned assassination, the foreign money. Emma felt relief wash over her. What happens now? Now you go home. Back to your life. Emma looked at Marcus. What about our jobs? Marcus struggled to his feet, walked slowly to the window. Emma, I owe you an apology. You don't owe me anything. I owe you everything. He turned to face her. This morning I called you worthless. I fired you and your mother. Emma didn't respond. I was wrong about everything. Marcus reached into his jacket, pulled out an envelope. This is for you. Emma opened it carefully. Inside was a letter and a check. The check amount made her gasp. $50,000. Mr. Wellington, I can't accept this. It's not a gift. It's a job offer. Emma looked confused. What kind of job? Marcus smiled. Head of security, Wellington Industries. Patricia clapped her hands. Emma, that's a $100,000 a year position. Emma stared at the letter. But I'm nobody. Marcus stepped closer. Today you proved that nobody is just nobody. Emma's eyes filled with tears. What about my mother? She's promoted too. Head of facilities management. Same salary as you. Emma couldn't speak. Everything had changed in 12 hours. From fired janitor to security chief. From victim to hero. Morrison's phone buzzed. The Swiss accounts. We recovered $12 million. $12 million? Patricia whistled. Victoria was funding a whole network. Corporate assassins. Industrial spies. International criminals. Emma shook her head. All because she wanted to be CEO. Power makes people do terrible things, Marcus said quietly. Emma folded the check carefully. Put it in her pocket. I accept the job. But on one condition. What's that? We use some of that recovered money to help other families like mine. Marcus and Patricia exchanged glances. What do you mean? Marcus asked. A scholarship fund. For kids whose parents work cleaning jobs. Kids who want to go to college, Marcus smiled wider than Emma had ever seen. Consider it. Done. Dr. Rodriguez cleared his throat. Visiting hours are over. Mr. Wellington needs rest. As everyone prepared to leave, Marcus called Emma back. One more thing. Yes? Tomorrow morning, board meeting. 10 a.m. Emma's stomach tightened. Another meeting? This time you'll be sitting at the table. Emma walked through the hospital corridors. Her phone rang. Mia? Are you okay? Her mother's voice. I'm perfect, Mom. Better than perfect. The news said you were hurt. It's a long story. I'll tell you everything. Come home. I made your favorite soup, Emma smiled. I'll be right there. Outside the hospital, the city lights sparkled. San Francisco stretched out before her. A few hours ago, she was nobody, a janitor's daughter, invisible. Now she was somebody who mattered. But as Emma walked to catch the bus, she realized something important. She had always been somebody who mattered. She just needed the right moment to prove it. The bus pulled up. Emma climbed aboard, sat in the back, like always. But everything felt different. The city looked different. She looked different. Her phone buzzed. A news alert. Victoria Ashworth and Dr. Anderson charged with attempted murder, conspiracy and embezzlement. If convicted, they face life in prison. Emma turned off her phone. Tomorrow, she would start her new job. Tomorrow, she would help build a scholarship fund. Tomorrow, she would change other people's lives. But tonight, she was going home, to her mother, to Soup, to the small apartment, where she learned that watching and caring can be more powerful than money and status. The bus rolled through the streets, past office buildings where people like her mother worked every night, cleaning, maintaining, being invisible. But Emma knew something. Now, invisible didn't mean powerless, small didn't mean insignificant, and sometimes, the person everyone overlooks is the person who sees everything. The bus stopped. Emma's neighborhood, small houses, working families, people who fought for every dollar, people like her, people who mattered. Emma walked up the steps to her apartment. Her mother was waiting. Emma, Dios mío, what happened? Emma hugged her tight. Mom, we're going to be okay. What do you mean? Emma showed her the job offer letter. Her mother's eyes went wide. Head of security? Emma, this is impossible. Nothing's impossible, Mom. You taught me that. They sat at the kitchen table. Emma told her everything. The meeting, the firing, the heart attack, the poison, the investigation, the arrest. Her mother listened in amazement. You saved his life? I did what you taught me to do. I watched. I listened. I helped. Maria Chen smiled through tears. I'm so proud of you, mija. I'm proud of you too, Mom, for teaching me to see. They ate soup, talked about the future, about college funds and new apartments and dreams that suddenly seemed possible. Later that night, Emma sat by her window, looking out at the city, at the lights in office, buildings where people like her mother were working, being invisible. But Emma knew the truth now. The people others don't see are often the ones who see the most. Her phone buzzed. One last time, a text from Marcus, Wellington. Thank you for teaching me how to see people. Really see them. That's a lesson worth more than any business degree, Emma typed back. Thank you for giving me the chance to prove that. Small people can do big things. She put down her phone. Thought tomorrow would bring new challenges. But tonight, Emma Chen was exactly where she belonged. Home. Safe. Ready to change the world. One act of kindness at a time. If this story touched your heart and made you believe that anyone can make a difference, hit that subscribe button right now. Share this with someone who needs to remember that their voice matters no matter how small they feel. And tell me in the comments, what would you do if you were in Emma's shoes? I read every single comment and your stories inspire the next video. Until next time, remember, the world needs more people who watch, listen, and care. Thanks for being here.